Happy birthday, motherfucker. Now, with that out of the way, some of you guys are confused. And to those of you who currently are having a birthday today, that's even more confusing. Happy birthday. Especially to Blaze. Now, before I do begin, I do want you guys to know, I still am having a bit of problems with my voice. So, if you guys do see me pause and or a sudden cut, that means I probably took a break for something. Now then, with that being said, this is something people have wanted me to do for a minute. People wanted me to do a self-insert series, and Blaze finally bugged me enough and got me to do this. Now then, if you guys do notice that my PNG is the guy with the white hair, I could not find my original avatar for my channel. I lost it. Anyways, with that being said, let us begin. Where to start with this? We'll start with Kirusho, a boy who grew up in a bit of a family. Let's start whenever he was about 5, maybe 6 years old. He was not in a very good situation. His family was poor, and the side of town they lived in wasn't really all that good. Things were tricky. Things were not easy. You had to do certain things. Good and bad didn't exactly seem so cut and dry. Kirusho, he had a messy father, alcoholic, and his mother, a little manipulative. She always knew how to work a little bit of charm, but sometimes that charm backfired. And the boy, one day he was thrown out. He had to fend for himself, and his parents, they weren't too happy. The boy was always there. He was always annoying. His father used to always just bring his hand up and strike him down. Didn't want to hear what he had to say, and anytime he just opened his mouth, there was the way he acted. That way he just spoke. And his mother, she didn't quite like that. He was a boy. He was a kid. But most importantly, he tried to question her. And she just wanted him to listen, but he wouldn't. And Kirusho, he got to live on the streets. People, they would sometimes help, sometimes question him. And other times Kirusho, he would have to run. His quirk manifested. And his parents, they thought he could have been their claim to fame. But unfortunately not. He had this strange, hideous quirk. He could make this eerie sound and create claws in his fingers. And that was really it. And we do currently have today. Kirusho, he does sit there. Currently, him, bundled up trying to keep warm in an alleyway. Thinking about a few things. Curious. Intrigued? Cold. He's cold. And right now, he just wants something to eat. He has a few dollars in his pocket. People have given them to him. Though, at the same time, cops are asking questions. His mom taught him that police are bad news. If you see them, run. Don't let them catch you. And he should know where to go if the police do come to get him. And the boy, he does sit there. Dirty. Unclean. He doesn't know the last time he slept in a warm bed. And the last time he showered, he's not sure. Though, there's a store down the street. If he's right, he can make his way there and get something to eat. Get some food. That does sound right. And currently, here's a get up. Him beginning to make his small little adventure down the road. Meanwhile, let's get to somewhere else. Blaze. He has had it rough. Things have not been very good for him. Call it a streak of bad luck. His father was a gambling man. His father was an intelligent man. However, the people at that table, they were just as smart. I mean, hey, they knew how to play the game. They knew how to deal the hands. They knew how to do many things. But that one night, his father let his tongue slip. He was angry. He was pissed. Though the people at that table, they weren't too happy either. Especially because his dad might as well have said he was counting those cards. And that meant a lot. It was met with a gun directly to the temple and him being dragged out back. Yeah, his family lost someone in the middle of the night, and he didn't know how to react. One day his father was there, the next he was gone. His mother tried to move on. She tried to make things right, though their family owed money. The money his father just so happened to have kept hidden. And his mother, she tried to do her best, tried to make things clear. Blaze had to hide. He had to make sure no one saw him when those men came knocking. She tried her best. Though when that door was broken down, she panicked. She was trying to get everything secure, pack the bags, and leave. Try to do what she could. Though, Blaze, he was already under the bed when the gunfire started. His mom, she was scared. And so was he. He knew what they were doing. He knew there were people coming after them. And then, the gunfight? His mom got one of those men. Shot him pretty good. Left him bleeding. Hit him right there next to the windpipe. The guys left him for dead. And his mother died in that hail of bullets. They left the money, well, some of it behind, and tried to leave. And when the police came knocking, the boy was taken into custody. Though he did make sure to hide that cash that the men left behind. He stuffed it into his pants and tried to talk to the police. Gave them what he knew he could say. He lied to them. When the gunfight started, the men busted down the door. His mom told him to hide, and she fired the weapon a few times, multiple times. He knew how many, though. 7. At least, that's how many he's pretty sure were hers. Her handgun. The men used things similar to it. It sounded the same, maybe, but one of them sounded different. Maybe smaller? No, not smaller, but a different caliber. That's got to be it. But at the same time, the one who he saw, he had a tattoo. He saw it whenever he was laying there in the doorway, on his arm. He doesn't know what it means, but clearly it must have been something. He was a bad man. That's all he knew. And the police were a bit more surprised. He was very well spoken for a child. And Blaze, he was put into foster care. However, the boy, he didn't exactly fit in. All of them were orphans. People didn't like it. People like to talk, and others like to show off their abilities. Though Blaze, he didn't have a physical power. All he was a boy who can think better than anyone else. Though the caveat to that, people don't really understand. He can think, calculate, predict. He's smarter than them, by a large margin. Though, that he doesn't like. Other kids are throwing around powers, showing off who they are. And yet there's him, left alone to his own devices. He shouldn't care, but he'd like to have a friend. He'd like to have somebody here with him. He misses them, his family. And we do currently cut back over to Kirusho, who currently, after trying to buy himself something to eat, he was asked by the clerk exactly where his family might be. His mother, his father. He saw the kid walk in, and he didn't see a car pull up, and there's no adults here that look like him. He smells a bit, and his clothes are dirty. He also looks a little disheveled. He's that he's that orphan boy he's heard around. And currently, Kirusho, he does try to pay. The clerk does try to stop him. Currently, when he does bring his hands down to set down the cash, the man does gonna bring his hand down, grabbing the candy bar and trying to tell the kid, right now, maybe he should stay here. Is he okay? Is he hurt? Can can he tell him anything? He's concerned. And Kirusho looks at the man trying to express. The boy should sit down. He can give him some more of the food. He'll pay for it. Just let him call the authorities. It's gonna be okay. Is his mom around? His father? In Kirusho? He has to shake his head no. But at the same time, the police, hearing that phrase, hearing that word, currently he doesn't lower his hand. It currently in the sleeve of his shirt or his jacket. And Kirusho does begin to grow claws on his fingers. I'm trying to think about what to do. Take it and run. Grab the cash? Maybe. And currently the person, they do go to turn. Currently them walking out from behind the counter and making their way over. Them grabbing 3 candy bars and gonna walk back over and bring themselves down. Holding them up, talking about it. Listen, he can have these and, well, I'm gonna stand, turning and walking over, before looking down and talking about how he can grab one of the ready-made sandwiches they have here. He's got to be hungry, right? I mean, the candy is less expensive, but the sandwich he can pay for. Would you like a soda too? Just sit down in the back room and eat. He's gonna make a phone call, and he's not in trouble. The fact is, he's just worried about all this. No police? No police. Okay? Listen. Are you okay? Cold? I'm cold. Okay. I can turn the heater on back there, okay? Would that be fine? That's okay. Currently, the kid going to be led into the back room. As the man, he has to get Kirusho a bottle of water, a sandwich, and he has to set down the candy bars he promised. As he's going to walk out of the room and going to do one thing. Closing the door and going to make a phone call. And the police, they do arrive shortly later afterwards. They were already in the area trying to investigate this orphan, if not this homeless kid. It has been a bit of a concern. And heroes, they themselves were trying to look into a lot, though they were more worried about villain attacks, in searching for a missing villain in the area. Now, with that being said, Kirusho is brought in by the police, and when they see that he's from a broken home, this does somewhat tug at their hearts. Fact is, the boy, his father, when he opened the door, he was visibly intoxicated. He was a mess, and his mother, she was nowhere to be seen. She seemed to be either out, or more than likely, she should have maybe left. They weren't too sure. The man, he had bruises on his fist. They saw that. And they were assuming something may have happened. Because whenever you get a bit closer of a look at the man, there seems to have been a possible altercation that could have taken place. And when they tried to ask the man exactly how he is, he wasn't very cooperative, stubborn, not wanting to talk to the cops. And when they tried to ask him if he knew where his son was, the man shrugged. He fucking shrugged to that question. He didn't care. He just walked away, ran off, bye bye. That's what he did. He didn't seem to know. And the police, they took this man into custody, since he has a lot of the signs of being a neglectful parent. And they want to see what's going on with his mother. Now, Kirusho, he was then brought into an orphanage. It was deemed to be safer. And while his mother could be seen as, oh, she was just doing what she needed to try and find her son, she didn't seem that way. She was a bit flirtatious to the police officers. She was also trying to visibly come on to one of them. From what they can tell, she was trying to get what she could from him and keep him distracted. Oh, just blame Hasashi. She was out looking for her baby boy. She was so worried about him and she's so happy the police called. Yeah. Let's just say one of the detectives, they've seen this before. And she's good. She's really good. Though, that's what worries them. Now, there currently is Kirusho, who after he was brought in, he was given a warm meal and able to shower. And people, when they met him later that night for dinner, they were quite intrigued. Some of the kids wanted to know his story. Some of them wanted to understand what he was doing here and how exactly he got here. I mean, some of their stories are simple. They were dropped off, they were found by heroes, and some of them, well, they even had their families harmed during villain attacks. There's even this one kid who, after they manifested their abilities, they didn't exactly fit into their family. Their father called them a word. What was it? It started with a B. It was something along the lines of, ah, there it is. They called him a bastard. They don't know what that means, but they're pretty sure it's not good. And Blaze, he saw Kirusho. When the two met at dinner, things were certainly intriguing. The kid showed off his abilities, and the other kids thought it was very weird. Especially seeing the way this stuff made its way out of his skin and just poked out of it. It was almost like, what is it? Claws or no. What's that one word for it? Almost like a porcupine? That's what it's called. You saw the way it was making itself out of its skin. Almost like how a cat's claw looks folding out and layering over itself before fusing together. It looked gross and uncomfortable. And the kids went and laughed at Kirusho. And there was the next day. When Kirusho tried to play, the other kids did not want him involved. They thought he was strange. They thought he was a bit of a freak. They don't want the mutant around. And that annoyed him. And there currently was Blaze, who he was sitting inside. He thought it would go how things always go. A new kid arrives, they make friends, and they laugh at him. They always just do something different. They seem to be up to something. They want to do something stupid. They want to play. They want to. It's just. There's a lot of things going through his mind, and he doesn't like it. This kid will fit in, and things won't go well. And that's the annoying part. Though there currently is at the door, it does open up. And Kirusho does come walking in and seeing Blaze. Him making his way over to his bed and going to lie down. Him trying to ask if he's not going to go outside and play. The other kids are rude. Yeah, they are. So what are you doing? I might just sleep. Honestly, I don't know. This is a comfortable bed, though. Better than sleeping outside. It's warm. You were outside? Yeah. Though, do you want a candy bar? I really want a candy bar. Maybe, something with chocolate in it and, uh, I'm trying to think. Crunchy? You want a crunchy chocolate bar? Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly have money on me, but I know I can get them. We can ask the nun for cash. I was thinking of something different. You can follow my lead. What are we gonna do? Steal them? Kirusho, Gonus won't smile, and Blaze is a little surprised, though he is a bit intrigued. And the two, they do gonna make their way currently to the store. And right now, there is the two, they do gonna leave the orphanage. And the nuns, they're currently a little bit busy, if not the caretakers to the orphanage. Now, currently there is with the two, they make their way down the road. And people, they do so gotta turn and stare at the kids. Since both of them, they're alone without an adult. Though some people are busy, some are a bit confused, and others aren't paying attention. They're trapped in their own little worlds. And Blaze, he can somewhat see this. People don't really care. They can be walking around on fire for all they matter. And people would just step to the side and, hey, don't let the flames touch them. They wouldn't care. They just walk away, leave them alone, or watch them burn. Only a few would probably try and put out the fire. And there currently is with the two to arrive at the store. And Blaze does stare at the corner store, asking what they're going to be doing. It's a bit simple. We'll run in, and then I'll grab the candy, you can grab one too, and then we just run off. That's that's stupid. What do you mean? I mean, we just shove it in our hoodies and run. That's not a good plan. Then what do you suggest we do? I've got an idea. Though, have you been to the store before? No. Do you think that there's a back door? Maybe. How often do you think they check out the trash? Are there stray dogs? Probably. I saw some on the road earlier. Or, well, a few days ago. Okay, that can work. Are there cameras? Hmm. Okay. So there aren't cameras. There's dogs. Um, do you think there's more than one person there? Probably. Though, why do you ask? Okay. I have a few ideas. Blaze trying to run through it with him. They can make it look like there's some dogs out back. Maybe make a loud noise and then they could just run away with some candy. Well, the people are distracted. Or, well, he can make noise, he covers his face, goes in, gets what they can, and then the two can run off. And Kirusho, he does try to ask if he'll know when to do it. And Blaze tries to express. He might hear something loud. That's all he can really promise. And Kirusho does understand. Currently, him walking into the store and going to wait. Him looking around. And there is where he's have his hoodie on as the man at the counter does his own wave. Kirusho can turn and wave back. And the man is a stare on. Him a bit intrigued. Okay, so the kid came in here and there might be his family outside? Right, okay, so let's see what they gotta do then. Give it a few minutes and maybe ask the kid if he's lost? Though he's at the store. He might be from the neighborhood, but he's not sure if he's seen him before. Didn't get a good look at him. And currently the man, he has to hear a loud crashing sound. Currently, he might turn and somewhat look over, not hearing anything, before another loud crashing can be heard. And the man, he has to turn, makes his way to the back door. And there currently is Blaze, who will get to take the 2x4, bring it up, and smash it against the dumpster. Before he has to drop it, turn, and run off. And there is Kirusho, who does go to grab some of the candy and begin to stuff it into his pockets. Him going to turn and grabbing something with peppermint. Him grabbing something with peanuts. Him grabbing something with fudge and coconut. Kirusho just going to stuff the entire hoodie and turn, bolting as the man is to go outside and look around. Him seeing one of the trash cans toppled over on the side with dents in it. And he does look around, seeing the trash on display. Though this does have him concerned. Was it a stray? Maybe. But that doesn't explain the can. Not good. Shit. Okay, he'll have to... No, it could have been an animal. The man's trying to think. Currently, him going to turn and pick a few things up. And there currently is Blaze and Kirusho. The two, they do walk back down the road. And right now, they head back to the orphanage, with their haul in tow. And the two, they do at least have a bit of a friendship starting to form. They had a plan. Kirusho's was simple, straightforward, right to it. And Blaze, he tried to overthink. He tried to be tactful, think of the situation, think of a lot of things, plan things out accordingly. And Kirusho just pointed out, it was fun, though he did like his plan a bit better. And Blaze calls him a bit of an idiot. And the two, when they do get back to the orphanage, they do try to hide the candy, but they also try to at least have a bit of a feast, since they just became friends. And the two, this is only the beginning of the trouble they'll find themselves getting into. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And Blaze, happy birthday, jackass.